Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. It's your t-shirted historian coming at you live. All right, so here we are. We're in the weeks leading up to Christmas of 2024, and I am excited about it. A lot of new announcements happened over this week, and one of my panelists is playing a video game on Discord or something. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of distracted looking at it. Patty, what are you doing? It's not professional. It's not how you do this. I'm teasing. But anyway. So yeah. We've had an interesting week. You know, they had the Game Awards, joke that they are, apparently. And they just straight up snubbed Black Myth Wukong. And they just straight up snubbed Stellar Blade. And instead had other things winning, which we know are full of DEI. But then, the other news that we got is that apparently the puritanical right is now starting their anti-nudity and censorship crap. So here's the thing. You know, like I've always said, I'm always felt myself that as a lefty because of a lot of my beliefs. But of course, I still like my guns, so I'm not 100% in the left. Okay, I don't agree with them on everything. I never have. I never will. And because of that, the left has shunned me, ostracized me, called me multiple names, and you know, I guess I'm okay with that because I'm like, okay, well, you know, I'm just not left enough for you. You're just cutting your own throat because, you know, I'd be happy to support you, but you don't seem to feel that, you know, I could have my own mind and speak it the way I wish to and not necessarily agree with you on everything. Whereas all the people on the right have embraced me and talked to me. And even if we don't agree on everything, we still get along pretty well. I mean, one of my panelists is pretty far into the right, and we don't necessarily see eye to eye on everything, but we get along, you know. My other friend Grim, always on the panel, pretty far into the left. We don't always agree on everything, but we always get along, and that's the thing, you know. I think most people are a happy medium somewhere, or a mix, where you like some things and you don't like others. It's like a big salad bar, especially when you're dealing with so many topics and issues. So for a side to polarize itself one way or another on all issues and then try to shun everybody who doesn't follow the party line straight down, that's asinine. Nobody's going to agree with you 100% of the time. They never are. Everybody has opinions. Everybody has assholes. And nobody likes the way anybody else's asshole smells. It's just all the way, and that's just how it goes. So, where we're at on this, like I said, talking about video games, and the puritanical right is coming out. We've been fighting the DEI-controlled left for the longest time now, and we've been kicking them in their wallet, showing them, hey, we don't want this. We don't want your politics. We don't want your ugly women. We don't want the hair dye. We don't want the erasure of cultures, you know, for the injection of other cultures that are more suitable to whatever narrative you're trying to push. And even the people whose cultures you're trying to push don't want it either. Okay? But now we're getting this from the right. And this kind of aggravates me because now it feels like we're fighting a war on two fronts because not only are we worrying about the left and its garbage, we're worrying about the right now censoring everything, shutting everything down, being puritanical, and preventing us from enjoying what we want to. And that is not what I want. I don't think it's what anybody wants. I think everybody wants to be free to enjoy what they want to enjoy, and they don't want anybody else to get in their shit. It's the same thing with our TTRPGs. You know, people want to play what they want to play, and they don't want other people to tell them how to do it or that they're doing it wrong. They just want to do what they want to do. And that's usually why I don't try to tell people, what they're doing wrong. I do try to suggest things that they can do better or differently and stuff like that. Sometimes I even suggest games that might be more suitable to what they are after, if I can, or how to make the games that they have existing work better for them. And I think that's one of the reasons why we write and we play what we play. But to have one governing body in one form or fashion or another try to, use the big giant, Nerf bat to whack everything that they don't like. That's not right, Governments shouldn't oppress their people. But anyway, how about we get our panelists on here, huh? Start with Mr. Patio Cakes, who you were on camera a second ago, and now you're not.
Oh yeah, I was drawing a map. I didn't want to be too.
Oh, you were drawing. Was that what you were? Yeah. I thought you were playing a game.
No, I thought drawing the map might add some visual appeal. while we were talking.
Well, put your face on.
Oh, I'll put my face on. If it shall please the panel.
It shall please the panel. I'm sorry nobody else is, but there you go. At least we got one face on there. We have poor Mr. Grimm, who is feeling very under the weather, so give him a break with his voice. Yeah. Hello, Grimm.
Hello, all.
Hello. This is why a voice changer would be really good for you, Grimm, because then nobody would notice.
True.
We have Mr. Shanatsky.
Hell.
Who is pretty tired. He had a rough week.
Yep. Maybe I should get one of those VTuber software, either like a femboy or a really hot woman.
Yeah. I've had people who keep trying to convince me to do that, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, but what if that thing breaks and all of a sudden my face is all over?
Oh, I see. So I used one for a little while. The software that I used was pretty plug and play. But yeah, I'm definitely one of those ones that was trying to get T-shirt to get a PNG tuber because I was going to draw it.
And why aren't you up here? You keep giving us stuff to work with. Get your furry butt up here, Ironcaster. What the heck?
I'm like the anti-Ironcaster because he's got those luscious red locks of his, and then I come here with my bald head. It's like we need one ginger on this panel at the very least.
And he's a Native American, so yeah, when we have you, we don't have our Native American representation.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we need those for the credits. It's like
we do
carbon credits.
If you're a ginger, are you sure you want the anti-ginger society knowing where you are? They've already removed several of them from comic book movies.
Well, as long as Netflix doesn't start producing The Week in Geek, then I shall remain handsomely pasty, perfectly pasty. Polka dot.
That is a really good thing to think about. I mean, it's like, okay, we all talk about our goals and morals and all that other stuff like that, but seriously, like if Netflix wanted to start producing this show and they were handing over large sums of cash to me in order to upgrade everything and hire staff and all this other stuff, I feel like it would be very difficult to say no.
No, T-shirt. No, keep your morals. Don't sell out.
Yeah, see, people always talk about don't sell out, and I'm just kind of like, hey, man, good intentions don't put food on the table,
Right.
Good intentions don't pay my bills.
I mean, you say that, but that might be something that's coming up because people are like legacy media, Netflix and all them. They're now very well aware of the power of podcasting. So, you joke about that, but one of these days, everyone's going to log in to watch The Week in Geek, and they're going to be like, brought to you by ba-bum, and then they're going to interrupt your stream every 15 minutes with a commercial that involves a show that's got the makeup of downtown LA and all that fun stuff.
Oh, you said it. You said it. Is it? Did you want me to do that?
No. I'm sorry, everybody.
People are already getting tired of that one.
Right.
Give them time. They'll work on consulting and buying out all the podcasts, or they'll pass legislation to basically go after the ones they can't control.
Yes. And oh my God, we have a guest. It's Joel.
Yeah, it is. I'm in my car, so I'm on my phone right now, driving home. No camera.
Your icon says Joel the Gator Lover. Do
That's
you
me,
want to talk
baby.
about?
I love alligators so much. They're my favorite. They're my favorite girls are the gator girls.
Joel's a furry, confirmed.
I'm not a furry. First of all, sweetie. Okay, that has scales, not fur. So that's number one.
He's
and
a
number
scaly.
two. So yeah, that's acceptable. But I'm not a furry. Anyway, but no, I don't have to have access to my icon or anything like that. So I'm like, this is representative of my personality. There we go. I like this. Like that game. I Want to Hug That Gator. So it's a really sweet little like visual novel game about falling in love with a baryonyx.
Well, that's okay. I don't judge. You know,
out loud. You don't judge out loud.
Well, I really try not to judge anybody's particular kinks, fetishes, or whatever, because it's like the point of it is kind of like, it's all really funny to sit there and point fingers and laugh and everything like that until someone gets around to the thing that you really enjoy, and then it's not so much fun anymore.
Well, it's not like an adult only title or something. Like anyone could play this. It's just, I don't know. It's just really sweet. It's got really good writing. It's the same studio that did Snoot Game, which was really fun. I don't know. Caveman on Studios. They're really good. So give me your money, folks.
Yeah. Well, I wish Ironcaster had been on here because I was going to talk to him about Dungeons and Degenerates, but since I've got Grim on here, I do have a degenerate, so we can talk about that. But first,
I accept my role.
Yes. So I do have a $2 Australian for My Ear Trumpet Has Been Struck by Lightning, which I kind of believe him. He says, greetings and salutations, and since it's got to be my usual contributor, thank you very much, sir. And I can't believe your ear trumpet has been struck by lightning. That's insane. You and Raltz need to get together and talk. So, okay.
Is that how you get superpowers?
I don't think that's how that works. I got spider bitten when I was a kid and thought I was going to become Spider-Man, and that never happened.
Like Daredevil, but for deafness.
Yeah. So, okay. So, in honor of your ear trumpet being struck by lightning, and it being such a precise thing, I'm going to give you Nuts or Nothing. Patty, have you seen Nuts or Nothing?
I've not seen Nuts or Nothing.
Nuts or Nothing. Nuts or Nothing.
Tatsuno no, protect my balls.
I've never had them kicked multiple times. I've been kicked in them a couple. I think after, a couple of them, or after a few kicks, it would, maybe the pain would have dulled out enough, or your endorphins would have kicked in, or something would have happened to dull the pain. But I mean, that initial impact, the initial impact is just like, my brain just froze.
Yeah, no. The worst part is that you don't feel it all at once, right?
Nope.
Like you know that something bad is about to happen to your insides, but it comes in waves.
Yeah, I have been kicked in the balls so hard that I wanted to throw up afterward.
I was kicking the balls so hard I did throw up afterwards. So I feel you, man.
There you go.
It's not fun.
It's not just me then. Okay. And we have another one. We have another room. He says, "Sell out T-shirted. I'm a T-shirt. I'm sell out. So here, you stop eating my sesame cake."
Mr. Homolka? Oh. Stop eating my sesame cake. Stop eating my sesame cake!
Yes. So there we go. And oh my gosh, Savo, it's good to see you. Would you let Netflix pay your rent to espouse opinions you don't actually hold?
You dislike
That is
rent.
now that is a good question. I'm not sure if I would. I don't think I would.
Isn't that like the core question of journalistic integrity? Is would you lie for money?
Exactly.
You
Well,
answer
we
yes
already-
to that. You're not a
Yeah.
journalist anymore.
Well, we already know the shill media will do that.
That's basically John Oliver's entire career.
Yeah.
They're not the only ones. Yeah, man. Like if you pay me enough, I'll say whatever you want. I have no integrity. Give me your money.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you if you at a certain point you can pay somebody enough to where you basically can have a corporation stick their entire hand up your ass and puppet you and say what they want, but that amount varies from person to person.
Yep.
Yeah, I suppose
I
everybody
can do
has
it.
some number. Huh?
Couldn't do it.
I mean, I mean, if you offer like Elon Musk levels of wealth, I'll say whatever the fuck you want. I don't care how dumb it is.
Yeah,
'Cause,
it's pretty much every late show host, because eventually the people in charge realize, wait a second, these people kind of have some influence. We better make sure they're saying what we want.
Yeah, and then you get into Week in Geek one day, and somebody opens the shirt with, and Tolkien was a racist.
We didn't hear that, but we have Iron Catster
Nice.
who muted himself as he was about to speak, so he's sitting there talking and he can't hear us and we can't hear him.
No. This thing is just a little more sensitive than I'm used to, so it's still being tuned in. But I just wanted to prove that this is so easy to set up. I did this within 5 minutes.
Really?
Eh?
Yeah, there's some free software on Steam.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well,
Wait, free software on Steam?
Yes.
I hadn't heard of free software on Steam, but
Oh yeah, I'll get you guys a link later.
Nice. Yeah,
well, okay.
I couldn't do it. I don't think you could pay me enough money. But I think really what the trick is going to be is it's going to be one of those things where they're going to lobby for somebody to need insurance to be able to go on to the internet and talk, because what they'll do is they'll be like, well, you need to be covered in the event that you say something that gets somebody hurt.
Yes.
Right. Or we're going to be able to hold you liable for damages or whatever. And then it's not even going to be that they're going to be paying you. It'll be worse. They'll say that, well, we can't afford to pay you because we have to buy this really expensive insurance, but you can keep on making whatever crumbs that you have been making. And then they'll lock you into a contract, and then you'll be really sad for the rest of forever.
Oh, so sort of like some First Amendment insurance.
We don't have First Amendment insurance, do we?
Well, I'm saying that's what it sounds like you're talking about. Sorry, I'm
Second Amendment
coming
insurance. Have you ever seen that? The Second Amendment insurance?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a service that you buy into, and it basically is a law firm. And the sell is that in the event that you have to use your firearm in a case of self-defense or whatever, you pay a part of your premium, and then the rest of it basically buys yourself a self-defense specialized lawyer for your court case.
Well, that just sounds like poo.
Right.
Damns the breaks.
Well, if we want to get into
Anytime
this,
we have a really pessimistic idea about the future like that, we should turn it into like a cyberpunk 2020 adventure seed. Like, just gotta work out the depression and do something productive with it.
You're
The problem,
you're playing as enforcers who have to go and shake down someone who didn't pay up on their protection to their government-backed insurance protection.
Yeah, see, there you go. That's beautiful. And if they're dystopian enough, then you could do what is that friend computer game? What is that one? Paranoia. Yeah, if they're dystopian enough, you can do a paranoia plot with them instead.
The problem with cyberpunk dystopia fiction now is, how do you make it satirical? Because reality is absurd enough that you can't.
I think we still have a ways to go, but I was really enthused to talk about the topic today with the authoritarian right, or the Puritan right. Is that the term that we're using, or?
Well, however you want to call it, Puritan, authoritarian.
There's a bunch of terms floating around.
So I had only just heard about. Yeah, I had just heard about this. I think I've heard someone call it Cake game, and it's a shooter game. Is that right? Like a cooperative shooter.
What about it?
Is it the First Descendant? Is that what it's called?
Oh, First Descendant, yeah. Yeah, because you had I should not YouTubers necessarily, but people coming out and saying that, you know, partial nudity is full nudity and stuff like that, and how dare you, and this should all be eliminated, etc., etc.
I have a feeling that this was Melanie Mack hot take turnout woman of the year.
Well, I mean, I like Melanie Mack, and then she does something like this, and I'm just kind of like, why do I like you?
Rough, right? That'll work out. I don't know. I think.
Well, the thing ultimately you got to remember was all of this has been. The thing you got to remember is all this, everything we've seen was just sort of this amalgamation of all these loose, dissonant people from all these different kind of people who were sort of, well, for all intents and purposes, kind of cast off by the left, that united to sort of rally against them, and you're seeing where that unity only had its limits so far.
To be united into division is to basically have no foundation to stand on.
I think it's a matter of who holds power, because once someone gets power, then they start competing and breaking down over who's going to wield it. And I think the right is more politically and socially, well, getting to be more politically and socially ascendant in terms of power, and so you now have competing groups trying to use that victory for whatever their particular agenda might be. And so it's no longer useful to some of the people who were tag-alongs with, you know, free speech movements or whatever. Now they just want to use their position of power to push forward their agenda for a change. So that's where I think what it comes down to.
Sure, but
so I got to ask. But are we talking about actual censorship, or are we talking about using shame as a way to influence behaviors rather than the law?
I wouldn't draw a differentiation between the two.
Nope.
Because I mean, the first censorship was done by the church without any legal power behind it. That was, you know, social power and threat of excommunication and so on. So I don't think I wouldn't draw a line between the two. I mean, the kind of social censure, the cancellations that the so-called left engaged in were just as powerful as, you know, attempts at using the levers of the state to censor things. More effective, perhaps. Plus, we had governments going behind the scenes to to groups like Facebook or Twitter and having private companies enforce their censorship for them, kind of doing an end run around constitutions and so on. That happened in the States, that happened in Germany, it's happened various other places. So I don't think you can draw a hard line between.
The irony with it is that all the lefties were cheering on when they were in power. They're like, oh yeah, we're getting rid of all these elements we don't like and everything else. And then as soon as the levers of power goes over to their enemy, it's like, wait, you mean that sword that we've been cutting our enemies down is now going to be wielded against us?
Imagine how that works, huh?
Yeah.
Imagine how that works.
But again, are we talking? Okay, so if we're putting like cultural norms in the same basket as like actual legal enforcement, the next question is what is the level of enforcement that they're asking for? Are they saying that this shouldn't be in games, or I'm just not going to buy games that excessive amounts of fan service?
No, it's a case of it should be eliminated. Games that do this should be eliminated, or any kind of games that have these on should be eliminated.
Yeah, so you have one side saying, yeah, we shouldn't have games like this because it warps people's fragile little minds and turns them misogynistic or whatever. And then you have the other side saying we shouldn't have things like this because it'll warp people's fragile little minds, turn them into perverts, lead to porn addiction, or whatever else they're talking about. So it's same shit, different set dressing.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. I don't know. I saw the one video of the character that was dancing, like there was like a quick time event, which I thought was weird for a shooter. Like, where do you get time to just shake your booty when you're fighting aliens or whatever? But okay, so before we move too much further in like the philosophical part of it, which would you rather have? A game that's got a bunch of genderless, hard to look at characters that are scant,
What?
or a game that's beautiful characters that are dressed from head to toe?
I mean, that's just kind of a weird equivalent there.
I think you should be able to make whatever you
want. It's a false dichotomy. So
yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a mistake being made that you have to assume you can either have one or the other. But I think what we're going to ultimately see is we're going to ultimately see like a healthy mix of kind of everything in between. Like everyone's quick to go roast that new Naughty Dog game, and it's like, how long have we been arguing that for all the I hate these, but all the woke stuff? It's like people are saying go make your own stuff. Well, they are, and people are now complaining about that still.
Yeah. Well, I think
I was just asking like a what-if question. I wasn't necessarily saying that that's where it was going. Just if you had to choose, a little thought exercise.
I think it's fine to mock these things, but it's when people cross that line from, I don't like it, it's not to my taste, and they cross the line from that into saying this is a problem that needs to be solved. That's
it's a case of like this, Patty. It's like, okay, let's say, Grim doesn't like feet. I love feet. Yeah, see, you can hear him. He says, yeah, I know. I'm one of them weirdo foot fetish guys. Okay, I don't care. I've admitted this before. But here's the thing. Let's say Grim was in a position where he was able to, he's got a big enough YouTube channel. He's got a big enough audience. Let's say he doesn't want to see feet in video games. He doesn't want to see bare feet of any kind in video games because it disgusts him on a personal level. So on his channel, he starts a crusade against having bare feet in video games. And you see what the problem becomes. It becomes a case of, because my personal preference, it suddenly has become more important than everyone else's personal preferences. It's the same thing with safety tools in TTRPGs and other things. It becomes a case of, because of a few people's desires, whims, problems, etc., they try to enforce it broadly across the entire spectrum of every other player and make them conform to those same rules. And eventually what you end up with is a gray goo, because it's like nobody's happy with the crap you have left behind because it's so sanitized, it's so harmless, and it's so weak that nobody's going to enjoy it. And then the game companies, after they do all this crap, they go, why isn't anybody buying this? This is all your fault. You guys are all scumbags because you didn't buy our stuff because we did everything that you told us we needed to do.
Yeah, that is a big problem. I think Raven Wolfgar probably has a term that I like, is like, what do you say, moral busybodies? Which I don't like either. I mean, if you guys want to know my stance, I don't particularly care. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a free speech absolutist. My line is always going to be, just, are we doing the best we can to keep harmful materials out of the hands of children? What you do as an adult doesn't really bother me, but if your game contains a certain level of fan service and such, I'll probably make it known. I think First Descendant does a really good job of that. That way, if parents object to their kids not getting their hands on that material, but aren't keeping up to date with all the different cultural phenomena themselves, at least they're kind of aware when they pick up the box and like, oh yeah, maybe that's not a good idea.
Well, Patty, just speaking as Gen X, and I think quite a few of us on here are Gen X. Our cable TV was our babysitter when we got home, and we were home by ourselves for 2, 3, or 4 hours a day because mom and dad were out working, and we had to let ourselves in to the house and cook our own meals and make sure our own stuff was taken care of. And the television set, we didn't have media back then. I mean, we didn't have Facebook, we didn't have social networking, we didn't have internet, anything like that. If we weren't outside playing with our friends and getting dirty and cut up and grabbing all kinds of animals and stuff that we probably shouldn't have been handling, we were watching cable TV. And I'll tell you, man, I watched more rated R movies and a few X ones as a child than I think probably any, Gen Z or millennial or anything else has ever seen in their lifetime. And, I'm okay, mostly.
Mostly? Right.
Mostly. I mean, I'm resilient, I should say. I mean, my health notwithstanding.
There's a danger when you look back like that to fall into the same trap as our parents and grandparents who are like, well, my dad beat me with a stick every day and I grew up fine. It's like, well, yeah, okay, but that's not really fine. I don't think it's the same, but that's a kind of trap you could fall into.
That's kind of where I was going. It's like everyone's mileage varies. Even as a millennial, I'm kind of like a unicorn millennial because I have an upbringing that sounds a lot like what you just said, and for the same reason, I'm like, I'm surprised I turned out as well adjusted as I did because none of my friends that I went to high school are. And so that kind of like what Grim was saying is like, that's an easy trap to fall into is, what ended up working out for you. You treaded the water much differently than some other people might have. And I commend you for it.
Well, thanks. I mean, it's just a matter of being resilient.
Yep.
Well, T-shirt, to go back to like your initial rant with it, we all want to go do our thing, be left alone. I think for a lot of us that's the case, but the moral busybodies, it's not just that they want to control other people. They have an extreme desire to control people around them, and that's their goal. Yes. So they don't have this, we want to be left alone. They have these, I must control everything around me.
I have to control the narrative. I have to make sure everybody else is conforming to what I say so I can feel safe. Kind of thing. Yep. Yeah. I've got a few. I've got some stuff I need to address here really quick, guys. I'm sorry, but first off, thank you very much, Squeaka. Squeaka, $50 to the channel. Merry Christmas, Twig. Hey, thank you. That will certainly help me have a Merry Christmas, Squeaka. It'll help Grim have a Merry Christmas too, because
hey, Squeaka, missed having you around.
Yep. And yes, everybody misses having you around.
Let's be real. She'll only drop that because I showed up as a cat.
Probably so. Probably
She's
so.
paying the protection money.
I'm honestly surprised that she sent me any money. I figured she'd send me some coal in my stocking because I haven't been a really nice person lately. But thank you very much, Squeaka. I appreciate you. Dang. What are we gonna give her for that? What do we got that's good? Let me see. Do we want to do the fantasy Los Angeles? No, you think that's too long, huh?
It's good, but it's too long, as the actress said to the bishop.
Yes, very well. You want to do Fat Larry? We haven't done Fat Larry in a while.
Sure.
Sure. Okay. Patty, have you seen Fat Larry?
I've not.
Okay.
Do it.
Player, what's the score? How they hang? Good evening and all that commotion. Welcome to Fat Larry's Trucker Mac, the only store for all your needs after 10 o'clock. I am the proprietor and salesman of the month several years in a row. The ladies call me, oh God, but you can call me Fat Larry with a F-A-T, cause I know I got a weight problem, I just don't give a fuck.
I have seen
That's
that.
me. That's me. I'm pretty much I'm Fat Larry at this point. But
Hey, don't set yourself short. You're the employee of the month, 7 years going.
oh, Ironcaster sent you a mouse for Christmas. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like a cat to do. I showed up. I dropped a mouse off for her.
Huh.
Throw it on a rug.
Yeah, Trumpet. You guys had Kylie Minogue. You didn't need cable TV.
Yeah, back in the day, Kylie Minogue was not a good thing. Yeah, not till she reinvented herself as a sex pot.
I remember when she was popular. It's like the surprising thing was back in 1992 when I went over to Japan, and I had to go stay at my friend's place over there. He actually had a Kylie Minogue CD, so I was like, wow, she's catching on over here, huh?
You're surprised that the Japanese liked a miniature Australian gynoid.
Well, she wasn't a gynoid at that point. She was just, cute little Australian girl who had just recently been in the Street Fighter movie.
Stockade and Waterman have a lot to answer for.
Yes. And Mercurius for another Australian $2. Speaking of Australia, Gen X here, cable TV, luxury. Well, it was America. My dad worked oil field, so we could afford cable. So here you go.
Emotional damage.
But no, I just want women to look like women again and things.
Yeah. Women want women to look like women again. I mean, and who did we? Joel. Oh, there he is.
Getting fixed.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
He had to go find a moose.
He did. He had to go find a moose. Well,
Find a moose.
we had Harmony Ginger on here, a few weeks ago, and we were talking about Dragon Age Veilguard, and we were showing her then what the sliders were incapable of doing, which is, actually making a woman with any sort of female shape, except for, like the closest it got to is like an androgynous female shape.
Congratulations, you could be big and busty with a B cup.
Yeah, that's so chesty.
And
B buds.
I mean, you were saying before, it's like, yeah, Naughty Dog with their next game, they have the right to make and have a right to look at and go, that's a pile of shit. It really offends me, though, is that he, apparently mentioned, what was it, Cowboy Bebop and Akira are influences.
Yeah.
And I look at that trailer, I'm going, the most surface level reading, maybe, but there's nothing about those two that evoke that. In fact, what I don't understand is, given he's Jewish, you'd think he'd want to emulate Spike, who's a Jew, if you don't know.
Really?
Yeah.
His last name is Spiegel, so that makes sense.
Yeah, he
Spike
uses an Israeli handgun too. It's very subtle, but there are little things you can pick on with it.
Neat.
Yep. Well, as a matter of fact, I do have that trailer, and Patty will appreciate that there's a woman with his hair cut in the game.
Yes! Hey, I did this before that 4B movement made a comeback.
Does she have the beard as well?
I'm sure that they're going to have a mod pack that'll let you put one on her.
No, but even the title, Intergalactic, come on, that's like genericness.
Isn't that the alien writing from Futurama?
It kind of looks like it, actually.
Welcome to the game of tomorrow.
Oh, God.
That or those weird Pokemon writing things. I forget, the one you could catch was the entire letter system.
The unknowns.
Yeah.
T-shirt making villains great again. Loki, if you want a link, man, I will shoot you a link, bro.
I'm an anti-hero, not a villain.
I'll get on that.
But like even for comparing it to Akira, the music's all wrong if you really want to evoke that. Like if you want bebop, this should be jazz.
Right.
Yeah, because this sounds like 2001 kind of, like, oh, space is so mysterious, and just like it. No, it actually, it's not Thai script, is it? It looks a little bit like it, but please tell me it's not actually Thai script, Sabo. It looks like Thai script.
It's Thai script, and you play as a ladyboy. Fitting.
You got a show to go see.
A lady that
He's probably going to watch. He's probably going to go watch War of the Rohirrim.
Oh,
his favorite.
That thing has gotten ratioed to hell and back. I can't wait till we get some proper reviews and stuff, so we can just rake Grimm over the coals and watch his soul die a little bit more as more of Tolkien is destroyed in his lifetime.
Don't kick me while I'm down.
Man, Thailand actually knows how to make lady boys. They actually look like women.
Yeah,
Based.
well, I mean, I can't say you're lying.
Yeah, it's called Go Femboy or Go to the Military.
Yeah.
Well, one dead man show tonight at the event center. Now, graphically, oh wait, and then it said Porsche on it, and I was about to say graphically this looks really good, and then I saw the Porsche logo, and I was like, really?
It should have said Jaguar.
If it had been Jaguar, that thing would have been like, in pink and blue.
I like
what? I gotta give him credit for at least like getting a licensed like car manufacturer to put on this. Like, that's a good little touch.
It is. It is. It's about probably the nicest thing that you're going to get out of this, though. The
It
soundtrack
really should
so
have been
far.
a Japanese company, though.
I agree.
Like, I would if it said Yamaha, I would have bought it. But Porsche, I don't think you're gonna get out of this.
Honda in space.
Yeah, no, Honda will. Honda will do it. We'll have Yamaha in space, but Porsche, no, sorry guys.
I'll take a Volvo.
It's too fucking clean, man. Oh yeah, and then it's like watching anime.
It's a little ominous.
And it's like not very. Look at it. It's really bad looking anime.
This is what they say 80s anime was when it's like people posting clips from the 90s. This is what it feels like.
This is not anime. Anime from the 80s was good, and I should know. I watched it. This is like Americans drawing and trying to ape anime. This is like
parody of anime.
Yeah, the angles are wrong.
Yeah, it's
this
like
is
you
what
get the
when AI takes over and gives you anime in the future because we're all too busy working.
Well, it'll do a better job. This looks like, the 24-year-old intern who grew up reading Japanese comics, but not really having the talent to draw them.
It looks like the American who never was a mangaka who made the How to Draw Anime book. Like this is like his art style. Right?
It does.
Yes,
like
it
the
really
absolute
does.
poser art style.
It absolutely is. This is, like
eating some
Antarctic
chips
press
while we watch
levels.
This is professional of me. I'm hungry. I'm sorry. I've got some chips.
They couldn't just fucking license something old school. I mean, it's not like that stuff's super expensive.
No. I mean, and not for just a couple of seconds of footage.
I mean, Sony does have anime, so.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I don't know when they actually filmed this. I don't know when they actually made this trailer. But I'm going to say this. The timing of this particular part with the 4B movement, which is, by the way, considered offensive to women with alopecia.
And don't forget those going through cancer, chemotherapy.
Those going through chemotherapy, yeah.
Well, I mean,
it's just about
the fact that it's all based upon the fact that, like, in that case, it's you have a lot of women who are trying to make themselves uglier for the gaze of men, so they choose to shave their hair off.
This also reminds me of Alien 3. Where Ripley shaves her head so she won't get raped.
Lice is the reason she shaved her head.
Yep.
And
actually, you know what it reminds me of is there's a couple of lines in Heinlein's Starship Troopers where the Navy pilots that are women all have shaved heads. And at one point, like one of them, the love interest, the main character, takes off her cap, and he's commenting on how uniquely beautiful she is.
Ironcast, you showing me this right in the middle of this?
I'm just dropping the link for later. I didn't say go check it out now. I'm just
okay.
Taking care of things while I think about it.
Okay.
Do it now. Interrupt the stream.
Yeah, let's interrupt the stream.
I mean, that would probably be more entertaining than this game.
Probably. Look at this.
Oh my god, it's a ninja sex party video.
I mean,
that was Danny's sex bag. Oh my god.
I swear, if I get copyright, I mean, a lot of my stuff on the last stream got copyright claimed to hell and back, to the point where I think that video is so chopped up every time you want to get to something that we were looking at. I don't know if it's really watchable, but if I get claimed for this crap, I'm going to be annoyed.
No, I think it'll be fine.
Why would you have printouts of everything? Like when you have like a screen cycling news clips, if anything.
Yeah,
so
that is.
She likes to save her physical media, guys. We're supposed to be on that trip.
We are on that trip, but here's the thing: it's like, even the newspaper place in my town got demolished. So it's like, we're not printing newspapers here. We're still getting them, but they're being delivered from a larger city nearby. So the newspaper is starting to die off.
Jordan, tell me something good. Well, you're right. It checks out.
How's our mocap still Pat in the Overlord 2024?
Excellent.
How is that excellent?
Seriously,
no one has left that planet in over 600 years. Anyone who even flies close to it is never heard from again.
I mean, this is really giving me like what the hell's that Bethesda game?
Starfield.
Vibes. Yeah, this is giving me some Starfield vibes real hard.
It looks like they're trying to evoke 80s sci-fi, though. If I had to guess, like stuff like Last Starfighter, just
or
some of the
Alien.
Consoles or shit. Yeah,
Cassette.
Yeah,
2001. You can see that little Hal Eye.
Yeah, it does. It does actually kind of look like some of the old '80s sci-fi. And what is this? What is it? T-shirts. Wait, smoking is okay again? I don't know. Did I say that?
In a spaceship, the last thing you want is smoking or shaving your head. Honestly.
Yeah.
One of the best lanes ever. When they explode in an all-oxygen environment, yeah, but we'll just put that way. Thank God for the something cheese.
Well, I was gonna say, it's like in outer space. I mean, it's like if there's a zero gravity field, like they can't even eat certain kinds of food, especially if it's like crumbly and stuff like that, because the little crumbs might get into something important and blow up the ship. So this chick shaving her head, aren't her little hair particles gonna go, like clog shit up? And
no, that's fine. They took care of that. It's all digital displays.
Oh,
yeah.
To be fair, she's got downward facing gravity here, so we're not really dealing with space travel as we know it.
Yeah. Okay.
She's
good
walking
point.
around, so
Gravity.
Also, what class is she supposed to be? Because everything's too fucking clean if she's supposed to be like a down in the dirt like bounty hunter. Like
Shinaji, don't you know what class she is? She is girl boss.
Girl boss.
Girl boss is a class.
No.
Which means she doesn't clean.
Those are the crazy rumors about what happened on
So who's cleaning this thing?
She doesn't have to.
She has a man do that.
Yeah, she has a man around to do that.
I say.
Hold on. Did she have trigger discipline when she pointed her pistol at her TV?
I do like her jacket, at least.
the jacket's pretty ripping.
Because it's meant to basically be a copy of Kaneda's.
Yeah,
Yeah, they ripped that.
You were a
too much.
Actually, it reminds me of the Jacket and Drive.
I say we wait for him to leave. Or
The other thing with it, though, if you're red, she should have dark blue pants on, so they better contrast. But
Oh, wait a minute. She
How many
she got a
monitors
paper
does she
cup
need?
with a straw and a plastic lid.
yeah,
Like, what the hell?
That means we won.
Why does she
We
have, like,
beat climate
15
change by
different,
going
like-
to space.
Oh, yes, that should be a paper straw. Canceled.
Yeah, totally. Well,
that's
did
bad
okay.
for the environment, Truckman. What the hell?
My headcanon is this is the same kid that was in The Golden Child. Starring Eddie Murphy. Like, look at that.
Well-
it's the same guy.
Won't somebody think of the space turtles?
Right. I hope that pilot seat is all leather cow interior, so she could toss that styrofoam container right out the side.
I mean,
I'm so frustrated that there's like 15 different monitors. Like, why wouldn't they only have one monitor? Why would you need to walk and talk to different monitors? Like, we've already solved this problem in the real world. Who has like 15 TVs in their home that they make video calls from? That's insane.
exactly.
Well, I mean, to be fair though, think about the adoption of Alexa with all the displays. Like, it's not quite as uncommon as you might think.
It just seems weird. Like, it's excessive for a one-person ship.
Oh, I'm not saying you're wrong.
We do
It just, I don't
also
know, it
have
sticks
this.
in my mind. It's weird.
We do also have this little snippet that I thought was funny, and I wanted to include it. But yeah, so we got this post from Neil Druckmann of Naughty Dog on his upcoming PlayStation game, Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet: The Last Concordia, and he says, "I always imagine my they/them characters like my wife's girlfriend, bigger, stronger, and more diverse than me. That's why I made this game for me."
I was too busy looking at your DMs that you left open.
What are those outlets doing?
all I'm going to say is, like, if you see this picture of Druckmann, this is a guy who, you know, it's like, it's pretty obvious that his wife's girlfriend, you know, bought him a Switch to play with while, you know, his girlfriend, you know, his wife's girlfriend and his wife go in the other room and do their thing. And if he's nice and he's good for a little while, you know, she brings him some cookies or you know, they go out for chicken nuggies later.
He's hoping that one day, you know, she'll just come out with the strap on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know.
International Women's Month.
I don't know. I mean,
hey, if it's what he's into and he wants to spend his money on it, making a game of it, fair enough.
As a guy who has actually fallen in love with cartoon alligators before, I don't want to kink shame. I don't feel like I can throw any rocks inside the glass enough.
Well, I'm not so much kink shaming it, but it's just, geez, you know.
I mean, I wish he would keep his kinks in the bedroom and away from video games and like the public square. That'd be nice. But like,
yeah.
Then again, you know, they
say write what you know.
That kind of scares me about you, Grim.
It should.
You write about horrifying fairies and zombies and shit. So.
But he doesn't write about feet.
No, he doesn't. That's actually going to be. That's going to be the next role-playing supplement I make, and I'm going to make sure that Grim prints it out. But it's going to be like feet and the feet class.
Apocalypse of the Undead.
Yeah,
we could call it Attack of the 50 Feet Woman.
Actually, Joel, can we make Maya Shura just like composed of nothing but girl feet, and she just, you know, like does like a 50-foot stomp attack and all this stuff? And
hey man, you bought it. You can do whatever you want with it.
Okay.
That's the rule. I'm always like
Nice.
kind of terrified that someone's going to put furries in my game. They haven't so far, but we'll see.
It'll
What just
happen.
makes me sad.
Although
it just makes me sad. If history
Although-
had gone differently, Amy Henning would be in charge and actually making good fantasy and sci-fi for Naughty Dog.
Well, I like the two guys who started Naughty Dog, but they got away from those guys a long, long, long time ago. Because, of course, they sold out their company because they made more money that way. And, you know, like I
do think
said, selling out.
When people are bringing up clips of Jack and their Jack and Daxter, and they're like, how far Naughty Dog has gone. I'm like, I don't think that's the same. They're totally different people. That's like saying where Obsidian has gone, you know, since it's become Interplay. I don't think it's the
How
same
far
people. Is it?
Eidos Interactive has come since Tomb Raider 2. Like,
Pedestrian Adventures: The Foot of Vecna.
Oh no!
If you don't know, one of the early Genesis games, I forget which one, but if you entered in a particular code on the main menu screen, the Naughty Dog logo would pop up, but instead of the dog, it was a naked woman, like a topless one.
Oh, I could only hope. Anyway, the other game that's making all the rage right now, of course, is The Witcher 4 for gross violation of canon, among other things.
And the guy who sold that to a video game studio regret doing it like really loudly.
He sued them
for a long time. Yeah. I don't imagine they're great stewards of the IP.
Not
he's-
regrets Netflix, I think.
He's a fucking plagiarist, so what are you expecting?
Yeah, a lot of people said that he copied Elric. So, but I will say this. Okay, as much as I want to dump on CD Projekt Red for Witcher 4, I still got to give them props because they're still putting the money into bringing out new things for Cyberpunk 2077. They just dropped 2.2, which gave us more customization options, gave us some more stuff to do with cars. Added a whole bunch of new side quests and little fun things that you can do around Night City. So the fact that they're still committed to this game after 4 years, and apparently they've got something else in the works. I don't know if it's going to be a full-blown DLC, but it'll be like another thing that they drop in because they're contracting with outside help to make things for Cyberpunk now.
They're working on 2, last I heard, so...
They are, but they're also working on Edge Runners too. So my thought is they are trying to kind of keep the name hot in anticipation for Edge Runners 2 dropping, and giving them another resurgence because they had a resurgence after Edge Runners. They've had a recent resurgence that brought their game right back up again, and I think they're just looking to keep pushing that title until the next one drops.
It's almost like if you treat your customers well, they support you.
Isn't that funny?
What a concept!
I mean, what a concept! If you're good to your customers, we will keep coming back and playing your games. I mean, even today, I was telling one of my friends, I said, "Damn it, I don't know what I want to do this morning. I don't know if I'm going to get up and work on this other crap, or if I just want to fire up Cyberpunk 2077 and start a brand new run with all the new character options." Because I really want to see what Night City looks like again.
Oh yeah, I still need to beat that game.
Yeah, Caster, you're a slacker.
Well, yeah, but like I'm busy doing other stuff, like being cats. Meow meow.
Yeah, being a cat, because that's important.
Everyone a degenerate in the screen. Jesus Christ!
Oh, we have several degenerates in here. I mean, I'm sure Patty has his things.
Raise your hand if you're a degenerate.
Oh.
I try not to be. I don't
know. There we go. Let's see it, people.
I bet they're going, man, maybe we shouldn't have killed the entire cast off in Edge Runners, exception of Lucy.
Oh, they'll do another Edge Runners, probably with a whole new crew. Speaking of which, just as a real quick too, they did announce that the Blu-ray for that is already pre-ordering in Japan, and it is going to be coming over to the United States. I forget who's going to be handling it, but it will be brought over to the United States, and they are dropping a prequel manga for Edge Runners, so you can learn more about Rebecca and Pilar.
Discotheque.
Is it Discotheque? Are you sure?
No, but I'm just giving your hopes up.
I mean, if it's Discotheque, I'll be just absolutely beside myself with joy because I love Discotheque.
I mean, we could always roll Snake Eyes and get like Mill Creek.
Well, no, come on now, give Mill Creek its props. They took a lot of the
Ultraman.
What was it? Yeah, Ultraman series, and they brought that right back out, and it looks great. So.
Oh no, it is great, but they're also notorious for like paper sleeves.
Well, yeah, I've got a lot of their movies, so yeah, there's that.
But T-shirt.
Yeah.
So, I think I managed to find your greatest fear.
Oh no.
I've like no idea. I'm just a sexy little VTuber girl. I do not question it. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Oh no!
and then you wonder why I don't want to do that.
Oh no!
And then you wonder why.
So
Why.
Tell you the one that I was using, it didn't have a camera input since it was a PNG and not like an animated. It didn't need like a mocap insert. So yeah, mine just was hotkeys, and then you could set each scene to different microphone levels, so you wouldn't even need a camera input to make it work, which I think is way cooler. But man, you want to talk about that being t-shirts. Imagine being a fan. Imagine like living in this world where you're like kind of simping over a VTuber, and then you see that and you're like,
he's in the middle of this femboy live stream.
Oh my god!
Boom.
you go to your bedroom later and you got like one of those pillows that's got your favorite VTuber print, and you're like, get out of here! Just toss it out the window.
Throwing rocks at like an old yeller. We don't need you anymore. Go on.
Oh, domestic abuse never always continues.
Honey Chan, shut the fuck up. Oh, Honey
You don't
Chan.
come back from that, right?
Who said that?
There's nothing you can do. You just got to nuke and start all the way over. It's the only way.
Well, darn, I was going to start my OnlyFans not too long ago, but things didn't really work out, so.
No, the secret is you got to go into it and like have the female character, but just keep the male voice. The audience you build up won't give a shit.
No, I mean, I guess that's true. I mean, and if anybody says anything, you can just say, men can be women too.
I mean, there are some VTubers out there like Porcelain Maid, and yeah, he's just like he's got a female character and a male voice.
Like, is it like really male? Like he's walking around like,
Here, let me get a clip for you.
Ooh, woo.
Oh, hold on a minute while I scratch my balls.
Wait, does that appear on your little VTuber avatar too?
I hope not. Oh Jesus!
That should be the next Lone Wolf Fists book. Is like Battle in the VTube verse.
Battle of the VTubers.
Lone Wolf Fist, special technique, ball scratching, flick a hair at somebody, what a pube hair.
Yeah, there's like a mock setting that Enix on the Fistiverse did that has like big titty werewolf file and it's got Jordan piercing a crab monster. So like it can get pretty goofy. So that might be the next official supplement to release it on April 1st.
Oh boy.
Nice.
Well, I'm just looking forward to big-titted robot women in your next one. Okay, that's all I want.
First of all, none of the robot women so far are well endowed. Only the undead woman is. I promise Big Titty God. I can't promise universal big titty. There's lots of body types. Okay,
there's lots of body types, but I just want some fine-looking fembots. That's all I ask for.
I would just make I would just make a flaming femboy.
Okay.
It's just like I just love being surrounded by men.
Everywhere the smell of men enjoying themselves.
Secret move. My fist. My
Will it become? Look, Shinatsu, I'm not going to self-insert in this. Okay, I'm not going to do that.
Whatever it takes to get your dreams off the ground.
I mean,
you look like a much happier John Romero.
Well, I guess I failed at femboy then, huh?
All right. Well, like I said, I hate to dump on CD Projekt Red, but yeah, Witcher 4 got a lot of problems. Let me pop this up really quick so we can talk about it. And probably it'll get claimed because people can't talk about stuff anymore. But
why did they change her chin? I mean, they have the model. Your face doesn't change that much with aging.
Well, we'll examine the chin. I have the chin from 3 different angles.
Grow from a devilishly curious child into a remarkably young lass with much grace, wisdom, and kindness.
I mean, this is a promise of something nice. She got a nice shape and everything.
Easy times what shape is.
Silver sword.
'Tis how we rise to face the hard times. What does that for us?
What I hate is they said The Witcher now means Ciri and Geralt. It would be Witchers then.
Here we go. Linger on this for Grim.
Excellent.
He's in pain. Stop.
Even art of gold.
I hate seeing people sharpen weapons this way. I'm sorry, I just do.
We've the spirit to overcome adversities aplenty. Darling. Sweeten. Today's the day. Ye fill out your destiny.
I thought he was going to say something entirely different. CD Projekt Raid. So, like, this is like some midsummer type shit right here.
Yeah, that worked out for the last production company.
It sure did. It worked out pretty good for Lamentations of the Flame Princess, though.
It does.
It was a good adventure. You guess you just don't get the hate, Esoteric Order of Nerdy? You will. Hang on. You'll see.
Why are Geralt's shoulders so narrow?
Well, that's not Geralt.
I know. I was trying to act surprised. You know, I'm getting ready for Christmas.
Geralt's hot now.
I legitimately hate them just trying to evoke X movie that came out recently.
Nay, you can't. 'Tis tradition. Chosen she is by the gods. No.
Okay, you guess you just don't get the hate? I think I just stopped on it right there, baby. I think I could show you right there why there's the hate.
Why does she have gray hair? Is she that old?
No, she's always had silver
white hair.
Yeah, she's always had white hair. But she always had a scar, but she didn't have a face that resembled Mike Tyson after a fight.
Oh.
Her look at her jaw. They're all swollen up, and her chin and her cheekbones. And I'm like, this used to be a really fine, cute girl. I mean, I get that she's older, but I mean, did she go from being in her teens, 20s to like 90 or 80? And
I think she just got that. You remember that plastic surgery that one lady got to look like a puma, and she had like that giant face afterwards.
Yeah, that's what it
kind of in the same ballpark. It looks like.
Yeah, did she get a hold of some bad berries or something, and she had a reaction? The hell?
Well, yeah, she did the trial of grasses, got her shit rocked, and it hormonally changed her for forever.
And women aren't supposed to be able to do the trial of grasses because they die. Not to mention the trial of grasses is supposed to be. The
she
trial
has
of grasses.
Like blood in her, right? Though,
Patty!
like, is it... sorry.
Patty, let me finish. The trial of grasses is only supposed to be administered on young kids because they're the only ones who could survive it. Adults can't survive it. Now, yes, I know, and that's the other part of it too. Is like, why would she take the trial of grasses? She's got elder blood, which is more powerful. Okay, go ahead, Patty.
Yeah, that's what I was saying is with whatever her elf blood thing is, because I didn't read the books. I'm really only familiar with what I saw from season 1 and season 2 of the show. I didn't even really play the game. So, but I was doing some tertiary research knowing that we were going to be talking about this today. And they said something about her having elder blood or elf blood in her that would have gave her like a pass or some sort of retcon type of reason why she would have passed.
She basically has the same function as Stormbringer in that she can, open up and possibly, bring out the destruction to the world or its saving.
I'm not that bothered because I think having Ciri as the protagonist and everything is earned in the case of The Witcher. She's been throughout the previous games. You've had portions where you could play as her before. She's meant to be a bit older. Oh yeah, I'm fine with it. It's okay.
Well, okay, and let me be clear. I am not averse to playing Ciri. I totally am not. I understand. Geralt's story is over. It's time for a new Witcher to take over, and it's Ciri. I am 110% okay with this. I mean, I would rather look at her all the game anyway. But the whole thing is, it's just like the canon is all screwed up, and my God, I mean, that is a bad look. Now, I do have pictures for other angles, because, I mean, there's the whole thing that he's like, well, okay, well, maybe this is just a bad angle. This is some bad lighting. So.
You chose her.
I mean, honestly, the way that she looks, it kind of looks like this is going to be the end of her story too. Like she looks like she's in her 40s or something, and about to croak, and so they're she's going to pick a new person to pick up for her.
Honestly, she looked okay to me.
Okay. I mean, she kind of looks like that lead singer for Heart, but after she stopped being really pretty.
Back to the village. Go now.
Nay, I must save them. Save the village.
Save yourself.
Okay, once again. Oh, jeez. Sorry, I'm all over the place on this thing. Look at that. I mean, different angles, slightly different angle, different lighting.
Different, but like, I don't know. I'm just not bothered by this.
Yeah, I think
that's totally fine.
Is pretty
a bit more buff, but yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah, I'm not really like this is like we've seen such egregious design with like these gigantic unhinged orc jaws and things like that, and like look at this, like she doesn't even have wrinkles. Like they didn't even make her like older. They just made her like a little more skeletally sturdy. I mean, I don't
puffy.
like designs of characters. She's a little puffy, but like
It's not like the Aloy downgrade.
Yeah, no,
like
yeah,
Aloy was bad, right?
Aloy was bad.
This seems, I mean, like it's almost so small that I wouldn't like why even bother changing it,
Well, and it is a trailer, so I don't know how the in-game graphics are going to look. But
Run to shelter, to your father. Run.
Got my auxiliary sword in case this one breaks.
Well, no. The thing is, it's like you need two swords: steel for men, silver for monsters, because monsters are affected by silver.
One of the things I like about that actually is that feels very D&D to me. Like that's some stuff you'd actually pull in a game,
It does. It really does. I mean, there are a lot of things that I like about The Witcher, and I mean, people could scream, "Oh, it's just a ripoff." I'm like, okay, but they ripped off in a very interesting and unique way.
Oh man, I haven't like again. I feel like I can't throw stones here. I just made Fist of the North Star the RPG. So like, yeah, those ripoffs. What a bunch of hacks.
I think she needs like 6 different swords and shout out which one.
She totally should. Yes. Now you've got it.
Well, I think that was what irritated me about playing Witcher 3 is I loved Witcher 3, but it was like, I would sit here and collect all these materials and stuff to build this ultimate cool sword that I had plans for, got the sword, and then it was like 5 seconds later, I'd do a quest and get an even better sword, and I was like, damn it.
I'm glad we stopped on this frame. This is really visually arresting.
It is.
She's kind of getting her ass kicked here. That's great. She's not girl bossing it. She's kind of getting wailed on. That's satisfying.
A little bit.
No, it's good. Like you want to see your characters struggle and overcome difficulties.
Well, see, now she's drinking Witcher potions.
Oh, she's juicing.
And she's got the Witcher eyes and everything.
Well, I feel like there's like a father-daughter interview with they're all
Yeah, she's using Witcher powers. Oh my!
It's a swamp hag from Legend.
Kind of.
Or Adam Driver.
What Jenny Green? I think her name was, or Adam Driver. Yeah, one of the next. Jenny Greenteeth, Adam Driver, same guy.
The character has a good face for looking stressed out. Oh my gosh!
Go back to the club, Witcher.
Like I said, I don't know if we're gonna get claimed for this one or not. It's just sopping just to kind of be on the safe side.
Does it hurt?
You cannot change anything.
You know what's like to star in 3 Star Wars sequels?
Okay, so Esoteric says maybe the Elder Blood died out in her system after the prophecy was fulfilled. I don't know. They did say that they will explain in Witcher 4 why she is able to do the Trial of the Grasses. So I'm kind of looking forward to that explanation, but I don't know, man. I want to get excited about this, but something just is, tickling the back of my head telling me, no, don't get excited.
Being a little reserved about stuff like this is always wise nowadays. So
yeah,
but
I'm not seeing anywhere near as many red flags in the last trailer, though. This seems like, CJ Projekt Red, like you said, they're pretty good people. So
yeah, I'm hoping.
But hey,
what?
But my point is, don't forget, this is all just a cinematic trailer. This isn't actual gameplay.
No, it isn't. And that is important to remember too. Like I said, this is just a trailer. So.
Oh, cutting off the limbs. I should have done this earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising, but and that's the other thing too to think about too is like I did start off by saying that CD Projekt Red is a company that does like its fans, and like I said, they're still supporting the Cyberpunk 2077 game even after 4 years. So
yeah, I'm like, this looks pretty witchery. The monster design is really good. Like the action is well paced.
I can only hope.
Me here.
I can only hope. Whatever this is kind of new.
Kratos.
Yeah, this is one of the God of War.
I think it's still like from Castlevania.
Yeah,
Castlevania.
You're right. It's the Belmont chain whip.
The Belmont chain whip.
Slayer, baby.
Yep. Dead.
That still counts as just one.
Yep.
She went to go to the woods. The chosen one. His tradition. Oh no, no, no.
Please don't tell me they're gonna say you did this.
To go to the woods. To
Yeah.
go to the gods.
Gods? There are no gods here. There are only monsters.
I'm pretty sure you dealt with them, Siri, so I'm pretty sure you would know there's gods. and worlds with people with metal.
Well, I don't think she meant in general. I think she meant like in that village.
In this particular area, there are no gods.
Did they say what the time lapse between the last game and this one is?
No, they haven't. So I have no idea how much time has passed.
I should get like a broken down, stodgy old kind of fatter Geralt that's like hanging out,
hey guys,
giving her weapons our way.
I should really get on playing these games.
Yeah, well, I need to finish Witcher 3, but it's like anything else. It's like I hate to say that, but it's like Cyberpunk was like the only game that I actually was so dedicated to that I finished it multiple times from start to end.
It's funny hearing this from Johnny Silverhand. So,
yeah.
You know what? I'd love Donut Geralt. Like, there's just a version of Geralt going around killing monsters, but then he's just eating donuts on the way everywhere.
Donuts are so delicious. Oh.
Why do you make monsters so delicious? More.
So tasty.
He's modeling Homer Simpson.
That's why he's able to eat the potions, because he has so much fat it absorbs from going to his heart.
He's turned into Kirby.
It's up there with Fat Nathan Drake.
All right, guys. Y'all ready to call it quits tonight, or? I'm sure Grim could use a break, but.
Well, is there anything else worth poking at?
We've got all kinds of stuff that we could keep pitching out here, but
I guess
keep going for a
question.
while.
Did
T-shirt. Did you ever do Corpse Runner?
Corpse Run? Oh no! You know what? We need to suggest that one to Grim because okay, so Grim, we came up with on stream an idea for a game where the name of the game is Corpse Runner, and your character is basically a healer who is able to bring back the dead, or at least able to restore life to a recently fallen person. And their entire job is to either accompany the party or come into the dungeon after the party has been wiped out or been missing sufficiently and heal everybody, or bring their corpses back to life and get them out of the dungeon. We thought about calling it Corpse Runner, the Corpse Runner teams.
So fantasy paramedics, basically.
Sort of,
Like
yeah.
Dungeon janitors, like.
Well, it'd be like the what is it, like the dungeon equivalent of what is it, the what is it, the docks, the cyberpunk docks, what the hell do they call them again?
So isn't a gelatinous cube, but isn't a gelatinous cube what you would use to clean out the dungeon?
Dungeon Roomba?
Yeah, that's basically
Exactly.
a dungeon Roomba. Well, that and carrion crawlers.
They're the danger jello.
Or green slime or black puddings or gray ooze, any of that stuff.
Machine from Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the cleaners.
The cleaners.
The cleaners. Yeah.
Not the cleaners. I miss David Bowie. Yeah, that's one we need to work on. There are a lot of gaming projects I need to work on. I've already pitched a few of them at Grim, and he's just kind of like, yeah, okay, well, whenever you get started.
I keep trying to spoil him enough that he'll run Lone Wolf this again, but we shall see. I got a new cheat sheet on the way, Graham. I promise.
Well, you got Tabletop Junkie running it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a couple of guys that get like really excited about it too. I will get you yet, Grim. I will get you yet.
Well, while we're talking about that, if we're having a game tomorrow, you're going to have to run it, T-shirt.
Yeah, because you sound like you're in bad shape.
Yeah. Just about good enough to play, but not to run anything.
Well, one game I've always wanted to see run is Car Lesbians.
Oh. I tell you what, Grim, we'll give you a rest this weekend because I will definitely run next weekend. I've got a couple of weekends.
Summer, it's cursed.
You're fine. You're fine. What's the game tomorrow if it happens? It won't be. There won't be one tomorrow. There will be one next week for sure. And one of these days we got to get Joel and Patty and Shanatsky on these too.
I think I did one with you guys. I think Grim. I was in one of your one shots. I think.
Yeah,
probably. Yeah.
You did. You did Obscura, didn't you? Candela Obscura.
No, I forget what game it was. It was like a post-apocalyptic one.
That doesn't narrow it down much. I did get my copy of
for you guys so that I can run it for you. Maybe
Yeah,
get a little exclusive.
I did get my copy of Ryu Tama in, so I'm kind of eager to start digging through that. But I feel guilty if I start reading it before I do an unveiling on my channel. So.
That's a beautiful book too.
Yeah, it looks like it is. Well,
every time I see a copy of that, I'm like, ooh, I'm not a solo gamer, but I can make an exception.
Well, let's see. There has been another type of game I've thought of for would be an interesting setting in a zombie apocalypse, which I call Reclaimer. And the basic idea is that the guy goes, "Hey, this town, I'll clear out all the zombies with my little group of people, but we can take whatever the hell we want afterwards."
that almost sounds a little bit like Whitechester, but that is something I could actually run, especially when I get Ashes Without Number, which couldn't resist a Kevin Crawford pitch.
We almost made it.
You almost made it. No, everybody drink because I mentioned Kevin Crawford again.
Yeah, well,
Who's Kevin Crawford?
You don't know?
His man crush.
Oh no.
Oh,
Kevin Crawford is the man behind Scarlet Heroes, which is my favorite OSR-based game, but he also made World Without Number, Stars Without Number, Cities Without Number, and now Ashes Without Number, which are all OSR-style games that use really big tool systems, lots of random tables, and they're really good. I love how he keeps expanding on his stuff and building it out and giving more and more options. It's basically it's the best tool game you'll ever mess with. But I don't recommend it for like brand new players because it's too heavy for like your it's just a little bit too much for like a starting GM. It's good for a GM who's already experienced and has gotten their feet wet with OSR and kind of understands how the stuff works, because then they can appreciate all the stuff that the Without Number books bring them. But for everybody who wants to just start out and get to playing, he makes Scarlet Heroes, which is just awesome because it just dovetails into everything. You can run anything with Scarlet Heroes, and it's designed for single player only, or one GM and one player, or very tiny parties. So to me, it's just perfect. But that's just my opinion. I mean, you can watch my playthroughs with Grim and other people. So. But yeah, why is everybody quiet? Are you guys just in awe?
No, we're making sure you've said everything you're gonna say, so we don't then
We were
interrupt.
being polite.
I
I'm not used.
you, so
I'm not used to that because
count the cities and the stars and the ashes. I attempted, and you guys disrupted my counting. Is the problem?
Well, how many were you up to? There's a lot of stars out there.
How many Mississippis?
But one setting of mine, it's more so that this is like a script thing, but I could see as like an RPG setting as well, is something called Z Squad. And the basic idea is that the zombie outbreak happened, but the world didn't fall into complete chaos, like Walking Dead level. Like, the world recovered, it just recovered to where now zombies are basically another problem in it.
So, like, is it like a Shaun of the Dead thing? Because that would be awesome.
It's more so along lines of, it's basically the Z Squad was set up to deal with zombies. It's like pest control or your garbage people. It's basically blue collar people, but their thing is dealing with zombies and zombie related crimes. So they're like a mix of SWAT, and they're actual investigations, because now there's all sorts of crazy shit that happens because zombies are part of society, like drug mules. They'll be like, one of the things I have thought would be a great idea. Why wouldn't they do this? They zombify a person, clear their guts out, and then just put drugs in there, and then send them across the board with a GPS device to be gathered. If the zombie gets captured or whatnot, they just lost the drugs. Who's going to inform on them and everything? So, but of course, sent across the border, zombie finds that people, ends up biting them. Oops. The cartel doesn't give a shit.
Becomes the Zartel.
Yeah, just every problem is worse because now zombies are involved. Highway repairs. Oh yeah, we have fences, keep them out and everything else, but now they need to be upkept by people. Who's going to do that? The people we don't care two shits about. And they're going to get paid just as badly as the people that are keeping our society going.
I kind of wonder if that's not going to become a trend in zombie stuff here in the near future, because it does seem like zombie stuff is here to stay in one form or fashion. And if you go back all the way to, Night of the Living Dead, and then watch all the different progressions of zombie films from there all the way to modern day stuff like Walking Dead and all its different iterations, you can definitely see that.
It's hard to do better than zombies for social commentary. Anytime you want to do a broad social commentary on a culture, man, make them into zombies.
It's more so just a way of, instead of the satire and social commentary, it's more so this is the type of stuff that is actually going on. It's just heighten it a bit. So it's not satirical, because satire is kind of...
Find satire for you real quick. I mean, like, sorry, you just described it. Like, that's what a satire is. It's a heightening of a real thing. That's satirical. That
Well,
would be what the satire is.
it's usually more comedic effect, or at least that's what the words associate with a lot more, especially with the way I see it
Use
done.
the definition as they're actually defined. That's my go-to.
Well, there's how words
I'm
are
just
defined, and then there's how people use them.
I use them the correct way.
Most people
Being
don't.
so mean to you.
It's like, for
Being
instance,
so cruel
night
right
with
now.
a K. You're supposed to say the K, but you don't. You're using it the wrong way. Or is it now the right way because it's the way most people do
much
it?
more intimidating, but no.
Yeah, gentlemen, I've got a hint for you. Yeah.
Am I right? Robots. That's what I'm listening to.
There you go. I could come up with a whole soundtrack for you to listen to while you're doing that.
Send it my way, dude. I need it. I got a lot of robots to write.
Okay. Joel, you do realize I wrote a few books about that, right? You do know that, right?
Well, I mean, I'm currently crowdsourcing ideas for robot powers. I had 4 paradigms that come up really nicely, but I could use some more. So I'll run the Fistiverse and just yeah, I'm gonna put it in an update. I've been disorganized this week.
Crowdsourcing, huh?
Why not?
How about like additional writer credit?
That requires me to pay you, sir. I don't have any extra money yet. But you can change that. Show my game. I'll pay you.
Okay.
I already got one co-author on this.
You can pay me in tuna.
Joel, what you need to do is you need to eventually have a cardboard cut out of you, and it just has like a little motorized thing that's shaking your book back and forth, and it goes, "Buy my game, buy my game, buy my game."
I do that thing in The Critic where the pigeon flies into the mouth and just gets eaten, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know why, but pigeons are attracted to the sound of my.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Because if we go on too much longer, I'm going to, like piss all over everything, including myself.
Because out to the roof, buddy.
I'm like drinking 16 ounces of coffee. Okay,
And whose fault is that?
It's my fault. I freely admit it, but
that's the first step to fixing the problem.
It is. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put up the Kickstarter for Joel.
Oh, hell yeah.
Let him shill it and let you guys talk about it while I go piss. How's that sound?
Grib, you can tell him what a great time you had running my game. That'll really
There you go. There you go.
Don't kill me.
So that's why you got sick, Grim. That's what really happened. You just played the game and then suddenly you start feeling weird.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to streamline the bloody thing. I know it's a weird system. I had a poor tabletop junkie that's trying so hard to run it, and he's just like, he's on the Discord like, oh god, I don't understand it. And it's like we're trying so hard. I've got like 5 or 6 people there that are veterans. Like I've got like El Gabo, the guy who did the Foundry, which by the way, we have a Foundry plugin if you guys are Foundry fans. But it's a strange game. Like as you can attest, Grim, it's a weird one, right?
Yeah.
But it does have some redeeming qualities. Like it does actually do what it says on the tin. So,
well, Joe, what's your sales pitch? Like, what's your 2 or 3
you-
sentences to sell this
you
game?
just heard it. Okay, so if you like anime and you want a game that can actually do like the really awesome, over the top, violent shonen fights of yore, this is the only game I've ever encountered that can do it, and I had to build it. So that's the pitch. Characters are powerful, capable, cool. They can fist fight a tank to death. It's a classic style role playing game. So some of this apocalypse world stuff where it's just off the top of your head constantly, you can actually prep for it, which is nice. It's got an enormous amount of character options. Character gen is really quick and easy. I've designed it to run on the fly. Again, it's a strange system. It's roll and match D10s, and there's a couple of abstractions in there that, again, as Grim can probably tell you, are a little bit awkward in play. They could use a cheat sheet, which I did send you at least one. But yeah, if you have your reference in front of you and you kind of get the knack, it's not terrible. It's mostly just ill organized, but I mean that describes me as a person pretty well. But yeah, so the elevator pitch is like you can do an anime character in a game in a way that feels authentic to the experience of like how you would imagine it would feel like playing an anime character. it's like not every video game like that has an anime aesthetic makes you feel like you're a shonen protagonist. But if you're playing like a Dragon Ball Z tournament fighter, you kind of feel like it sort of feels like you're playing Goku. It's like I can do the Kamehameha, cool. And it like there's an impact to the way it plays whenever you're actually playing it. That was really paramount to me. A lot of games like Bessem is a good example of like, yeah, sure, it's got an anime aesthetic, but we're just playing D&D again. It doesn't feel like anime. It feels like D&D. I hate that. Bessem did that. What else did that? Well, the Bessem D20 anyway did that. The Tri-Stat system for Bessem did that too, where it's like, this doesn't feel like an anime really. People have tried to run anime in Fate. Yeah, plus Fist of the North Star. Thank you. Yeah.
Well, what about Mike Pondsmith's Dragon Ball Z game? I know he did that back in the day.
I actually have a copy of that, by the way, which I read to completion before writing mine. That had a lot of big fiddly numbers, and again, it was really just like a Rock'em Sock'em Robots thing. It was like I attack and then you attack, and we just compare these gigantic numbers. It didn't feel very like when you're watching an episode of any of your favorite, like Bleach, Soul Eater, Dragon Ball Z, blah blah blah, Trigun even. Like there's a real rhythm to the fights, right? There's a lot of little actions. There's a lot of things going on, and there's like a strategic reality to it. And like you can model that in a role playing game pretty well, But like most role playing games, either abstract it too much, with like Fate and its zones and all that, or Apocalypse World and it's like nothing matters until something suddenly matters. Like I hate those designs because they're so like they require the GM to constantly be on their A game and making stuff like in the moment. Like I like a game where like I'd make prep and then Mechton Zeta and Cyberpunk 2020 and all that. Like Mechton Zeta is a great game. I highly recommend Mechton Zeta. I haven't played Teenagers from Outer Space, but I've heard it's fantastic. So it's not like Mike can't do it. If Mike really wanted to do what I'm doing, he would. It's Mike Pondsmith. He would do it better.
He would do it.
I don't think he cares that much about Dragon Ball Z. He cared about Cyberpunk, and that's why Cyberpunk is like the cyberpunk RPG, right? So yeah, if he cared, I think that he would blow me out of the water. Thankfully, he doesn't care, so that's useful.
Everybody's got a niche to fill, and I guess he recognizes that.
He did do Fusion for Bubblegum Crisis, though.
Yep, and I have it. I have all those books.
How are those? Like, how do those play? This is my question.
That's a different question.
Cyberpunk? Well, I mean, that's good, though. I like Cyberpunk. It's a fun game.
But it's now hard suits are added on everything else, and there's stats for them.
I'm still hoping to get him on for someday. What?
Bit like the power armor in straight Cyberpunk. It kind of works, but not quite.
Hey, Ironcaster, you've got a great rack over there, buddy.
He's having fun.
Mutating.
Well, they say that a nice pair of tits does help the stream out. So I thought I would try to see if that works.
There you go.
You keep acting like that. I'm gonna get Melanie Mac to comment on you.
Can we get Melanie Mac to comment on us? I would love that if we could get Melanie Mac to comment on us. I'd love it even better if she came on the show, but anyway, I do want to point one thing out to everybody out there in YouTube land who thinks that that we make tons and tons of money off of games and stuff. Joel's game has a $2,000 pledge goal, and he's made $3,685 with 67 backers, and he still has 16 days to go. Which it sounds kind of impressive on paper, but considering all the work that he's put into this,
the original game was 5 years worth of writing. I've been writing this one this last year and some change. I'll probably continue writing for the next few months, and then I also have to do most of the editing, at least the initial editing. I have to do layout, which I actually bought a program to do, and I took a course to do as well because that seemed like a good investment of time. I sourced all the art and the artists, and I commissioned all of them. All that's coming out of this. So your margins are pathetic. This is not something I'm making money with. This is something I want to do because it's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. That's my whole point. Is like it sounds like it's a bunch of money, but it really isn't. After you look at the costs of the printing and the artists and everything else. And,
I work for pennies an hour, but I mean,
we all
love
do
what I do too. Yeah, that's the industry, right? Like if you get that home run, then it's great. But if you don't, this is the industry,
right? Yep. And it's I've always pointed this out to people. I'm like, the Gary Gygaxes, the Mike Pondsmiths, the
Oh,
the Mark Ryan Hagens.
Yeah, there's very, very few.
Yeah. These are, the Jason Bullmans. These are lightning in a bottle, one time in a million creators who got lucky and filled a niche, and it became popular, and it kind of became a cornerstone of role-playing gaming. The Sandy Petersons. I had Sandy Peterson finally follow me on Twitter and start replying to my stuff. I was just like through the moon over it.
I think that people on Twitter were really nice to him, and everybody was like leading for Blue Sky, and he tried, and it was like really awful over there. So he came back to Twitter, and like everyone, like I remember I was talking to him too, just like, hey, no, stay here. We like you. We're not evil bigots. Like, we're just people. We're just normal. We're just men. We're just normal men
who want to be men.
This is why I just stay with script writing, because hey, if my windfall comes, it will actually be actual money instead of I can actually pay my rent for a month.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
I have a day job, dude. I cannot pay my rent off of Elf Games. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, no. If I had to survive on what I make on games, I would be dead in a week, because as Grim will tell you, it's like the last paycheck I got from him for my work was $5.
Yep, that's about right.
So
yeah, and you guys do work for me for free. Like Grim did a huge boost for my game by running it on stream. Yeah, I didn't pay him a dime for that. I paid him in being grateful. Thanks, Grim.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I did send you an invoice.
What more where that came from, buddy?
You have died from exposure.
Yeah, some people pay $500 for that pleasure.
There you go.
I mean,
Grim,
your game did give me cancer, so
fair enough. Yeah, but if money's changing hands, Grim, you're taking clothes off. That's how this is gonna go.
Tune in to Tabletopless for that.
Yeah, I mean that there is actually a thing on his Tabletopless where it's like, if you pay him enough, Grim will actually disrobe.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that though. They don't want to pay the amount.
Yeah, what a ridiculous booby price. What are the numbers on that again?
We should,
Grim,
we should change it so you have to pay me or I'll take triple.
Yeah. Pay or I'll take my clothes off at this time. It's
Exactly.
like you're gonna make it every time.
Yeah,
Well,
you got it.
It's actually a twofold thing. So if you want the girls to take their clothes off, you have to pay money. Otherwise, he'll start taking clothes off.
Yeah, it's a zero sum of clothes, and you have to like pay to get them moving in the right direction.
Yeah, all I can say is it's a lot easier to get the girls to get out of their clothes and play with themselves than it is to get Grim to do it. So,
I see.
And we all have to have life goals, and I just acquired a new one.
Okay, we'll start a GoFundMe. Let's make Grim strip on stream.
I don't want to know. In fact, I want to deafen myself after hearing that.
Well, with that being the case, shall we go ahead and end it for tonight, guys?
Sure.
Okay.
I was
we still got plenty.
Had this Watsy thing. I don't know if you want to talk about.
We still have that for Tuesday, Caster. We still got Tuesday. We don't have to shoot our wad entirely on one stream. We have 2 streams a week now, so we can save the other ball for that other stream. Okay, we have 2 balls. Let's just use one at a time.
So one is for P, and one is for
fun.
One is your rifle, one is your gun, etc.
Exactly.
And I actually got some clips for you for that.
I got those, some of them anyway. So I need to learn more about it anyway, so I can have a decent conversation with you. Otherwise, it's going to be you doing all the talking, me going, Oh.
And who knows? Maybe why don't you get a T-shirt to VTube it up? Yeah.
No. Like I said, with my luck, that shit would fail, and it'd be like, whoops. So, anyway, thanks for hanging out with us today, all you guys. I appreciate y'all very, very much. I hope you had a lot of fun, because we had fun, I think. And we will see you again on Tuesday when we do Tuesday with Geeks. Till then, y'all have a great week in Geek.
Stay degenerate all.
Yeah.
On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel, I wish you all sweet dreams.